Coming to you live from the JRE Tobacco Aladino Mobile Studios, it's the Cigar Pulpit.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another sermon from the Cigar Pulpit. I'm the Bishop of the Bird, Nick, and yes, this episode's slightly delayed, but that's okay because I've had a busy week. But it also worked out because I was able to secure somebody to talk to, so you don't have to have a solo episode. I have Mr. Ed Sullivan of the Cigar Authority. How you doing, Ed?
I am doing great, Nick, and I think it's important that you have a guest because I hate the pregnant pauses, and that's not a fat person joke.
No, I get
But
that.
you know, even when you gotta start puffing there, and
Trust me, I hate it too. But the problem is, for me, I could edit it out of the audio version relatively easily.
right,
But with the video, it's like it's a pain.
who
And
wants to do video editing? It's a pain
not
in the
me,
ass.
not me. It's just not. So anyway, so yeah, so thank you so much for carving out time this morning. I mean, last minute.
Listen, I'm gonna listen to this nonsense anyway.
So you
And
might as
now
well.
I might as well be here, and then I don't need to listen to it.
Yeah, you're saving time. This is good.
Yeah, so you're going to be missing one of your downloads this week. No, I'll download it anyway. I just won't listen to it. How's
They
that?
just won't listen. There you go.
Yeah.
That's fair. We can agree
Yeah.
to that. So today I am smoking the Perdomo 30th Anniversary Connecticut in the Epicure. It's a 6x54 with an Ecuadorian Connecticut wrapper and Nicaraguan binder and filler. What have you got?
Today I have the United Gold Star. It's got
Okay.
a very shiny band, so it's kind of hard to pick it up on camera.
Gotcha.
And this is made by William Ventura in partnership with United Cigar. And I took a little picture. There's a very long story that goes with this. I'm not sure we can get into the whole thing, but United Cigars joined forces with the National Navy SEAL Museum's Trident. Some glare on here, but it's a charity to benefit the Navy SEAL Gold Star families. Only 200 boxes of 20, so you better get on this.
Yeah.
The Toro full-bodied and beautifully balanced.
Okay.
And I'll be the judge of that.
You'll be the judge of that. I mean, you're part of the authority, so I want to know where it ranks on the strengthometer.
I was going to ask you to rank yours on the strengthometer.
I was wondering if you guys had already ranked it.
I don't think we did that one. We'll
Okay.
put the champagne on the strengthometer.
Yeah. Okay.
That one's deceptively strong.
Oh, I agree. I have had so many people say, you know, when you're having that inevitable discussion about what would you recommend to a first-time cigar smoker, and somebody's like, "Oh, you know, maybe the Perdomo champagne," and I'm like, "No, that's
not a good
not,
one.
That is not a first-time cigar,
No.
smoke." Yeah. There's a lot of nicotine in that one. A lot of strength. Yeah,
a lot of strength.
Yep. Okay, so it's time to cut the cigar, and the official cutting is brought to you by Dan the Man Ponder over there at Riverman Cigar Company. And guys, he's been getting in all kinds of great stuff. He's been posting it to his social media. So if you don't follow Dan the Man and Riverman Cigar Company on, Instagram and Facebook, you're missing out on seeing what's coming in. And the thing is, he does mail orders, so you can give him a call and you can reserve whatever you see rolling in if you're not in the St. Louis area to swing by, of course. So make sure you check out Dan the Man Ponder, Riverman Cigar Company on social media, and you can secure whatever it is that's rolling in. That's Riverman Cigar Company of Crestwood, Missouri. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and cut the cigar.
Wow, look at you.
I know, right? Nice and efficient today.
Are you doing one of those Mr. J V cuts?
No, I'm using the straight side of the...
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't often use the straight side.
I was going to say, it is not a Mr. J cut. Oh, God. No, Ed, I do appreciate this because I feel like I owe the listeners somewhat of a brief explanation. So, this week I've had a lot going on, and I'm not going to get into all of it, but yesterday I spent 6 hours talking to probably over 60 eighth graders at a career fair about newspapers. And they all collectively were staring at me like a monkey being shown a card trick. I mean,
Yeah.
these kids don't know, print media, much less newspapers. They're looking at it like it's the first time. One of them like didn't understand how, how like when a story starts on one page, it's got the little continued on page whatever,
Yeah, they couldn't
and you
figure that part
and you
out.
no, they're looking to the next page. They're like, that story didn't. Where's the rest of it? And I'm
Well,
like, it
tell
goes
them
to
it's
this
like
page.
it's like a link down at the bottom,
There,
but
oh, there you
clicking on
go.
it won't help you.
It's not. You're just going to be pushing the paper. But no, they had no clue. It was so. I mean, I don't know. It's one of those things that you got to wonder the TikTokification of America, man. I mean, it's hitting the youth pretty hard, but
I thought we were getting rid of TikTok. No.
well, yeah, no. Yeah, I think I saw that the Senate actually passed that bill. So it's going to
Yeah.
Biden. So yeah, no, we may very
Oh,
well end up.
Biden's pushing it, but in the meantime, I think his campaign's staying on TikTok. You got to cover all the bases.
Well, of course. I mean, you can't let one of these social media channels go away from you.
No, it's
But
important.
but no, I mean, yeah, that'll be interesting to see. I don't know. I know a lot of people that use it, so I don't.
I don't. I figure I got enough nonsense in my life. I don't need
Yeah,
more.
it's one more thing.
Yeah.
But and I get it all on Instagram anyway. Now, granted, I get it about 2 weeks late when it finally hits Instagram,
Yeah.
but yeah.
Well, I think
So
I'm done with new social media platforms.
I kind of agree. I do kind of
I
agree.
have enough.
Well, and what are they bringing that's new to the table that's interesting? You know?
Yeah, I don't. It just seems like it's shorter and shorter format.
Oh, I mean, I don't know about you, but I have found that my attention span has, waned over the years
Yeah.
with all this social media. And so I've been trying to make an active point this year of reading more and forcing myself to read more to try and build that back up because I mean, that's concerning.
Yeah, it seemed like wasn't Mr. J posting a picture of him reading a book he probably didn't understand?
Maybe, I don't know.
I don't know.
That doesn't
Again,
strike me as
I
familiar.
didn't see, there was no action, so I couldn't see the finger or the pen
Oh.
moving across the page.
Well, he needs that in order to keep his eye on the right line, correct?
Yeah, we've had multiple requests that I be the official reader of the
Yeah.
cigar, but that takes some of the fun out of it,
Yeah,
really.
exactly. I mean, that's the thing. That's one less thing to make fun of Mr. Jonathan about.
Sure. And
Yeah.
Dave's always good too, to do a little.
Yes, yes. The interesting. What was it? It was George Takei. That
Yeah.
was that. He said the name, and I was like, "Who's that?" And he's like, it was solo on Star Trek, and I'm like, wait, what? I'm like, first of all, that's wrong. Second of all, I know who you're talking about now, and that's wrong.
Right. I mean, if he had at least gone with the Takai, that's
Yeah, yeah.
understandable.
But it was like that. He added like a T. He added letters to it. It was like he made a whole new word out of it. It was
Often, though, he'll take some away and add some, so the net number of letters is the same. It's just a
they're just
completely different word.
well, okay. So at least it balances out. But anyway, I'm gonna fire up my cigar here. I'm gonna get this going.
Well, I was waiting because I didn't know if we got somebody sponsoring this light or how it works.
No, I don't have a lighter sponsor yet.
Mm-hmm.
But if Vertigo wants to get on board with that, I use Vertigo. I use the Vertigo Cyclone like all the time.
Yeah.
So see, exactly.
I don't know. It just works and the price is right on them.
Mm-hmm.
Although,
oh yeah, because two guys has what 2 for $20.
Yep.
But I mean, around here, I can find them depending upon where I'm at. I can usually find them for about $12 a piece.
And I think that may be the price if you buy one of them.
Mm-hmm.
So you get a break when you buy two of them. But
This
What are you
has got a
getting on that
really.
cold draw?
I'm sitting here and I'm like, it's got a really interesting kind of like caramely sweetness and like a creamy peanut buttery kind of thing going on.
You
I
getting
like
any
it.
of often you get the sweetness from that bourbon barrel aging.
That could be it. That could
And
be it.
often, yeah, it'll just profile the sweetness. I never get much bourbon off these
Yeah, I wouldn't say I'm.
Perdomos,
hmm
but there you go. I think that lighter's working.
Yeah, it's turned up
And,
way too damn high.
you
Um,
know, generally, I'm not an accessory guy because I just use what works. I got my
mhm,
Lotus Jaws, and that just cuts forever. But
yeah,
I bought accessories this week. They were
really.
compelling enough.
What did you buy?
Well, I had to buy that Lotus Winston lighter.
That's the steampunk one, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
I mean, because
so I heard that
it's
on the show,
yeah, it's
but
a
I wasn't.
table lighter, really. But
You don't have it there, do you?
no, I don't have.
Okay, that's
I
fine.
have the other one that I just bought.
Okay, no, I'm gonna have to look up that Winston because that sounds intriguing to me. But
Oh, you know what I
you
did?
know,
My other accessory is
yeah.
sitting right under my computer because I wanted to get a little height on. It's also made by Lotus, though. Have you seen the silicone ashtray they're making?
I don't know if I've seen theirs, but I've seen others that
Yeah,
they've
it's
that have come
like
out.
$20. And
Just a
so,
little square silicone, right?
yeah, yeah. So you
Yeah,
can drop it, throw it around. But for my sort of semi-outdoor ashtray,
yeah.
seems perfect.
I've got one for the table outside on my patio. It's wonderful,
Yeah, I
and
mean the
it cleans really really well too.
cleans well. The other
Mhm.
one you could go with is the big stinky. But
Yeah,
if I'm just by myself, I don't need a punch bowl size.
no, no. All that's going to result in that is you're going to eventually like walk. You're just going to walk away and leave cigars in it, and then it's going to
Yeah.
accumulate and it's going to get nasty.
And if it's really outdoors, you just have them floating in water after a
Been
rain. It's
there, done that. You know,
yeah.
that's unpleasant. No, the first time I used one of those silicone ones, I was like really kind of wondering. I don't know why I didn't know if it would burn. Like I
Hmm.
figured that maybe setting the cigar in there was gonna like, and the last thing in the world I wanted was the smell of like burning
Yeah.
silicone or something. You know,
You
it's
don't
like
need that.
it's a house fire at the strip club. You know,
Right.
but yeah, we don't need that. But it didn't, and I was really impressed. I mean,
Mm.
that's actually a really nice little ashtray innovation.
I like it. That's
Yeah,
why I bought it. And the price was right. I think $20.
yeah, they're not
No,
expensive.
no. You
So
know, it's not for showing off. It's just for it's easy to clean. Leave it anywhere and it'll be fine.
precisely. I like it. So Ed, what else have you been up to lately?
I've been very busy this week. I don't even have time to work. Once you get old, you gotta you gotta go
busier
see
in busier in
your
retirement than
people.
you were before? Yeah.
On Tuesday, I barely got to the Ashholes on time. I had
Uh-oh.
appointment with a new cardiologist, which
Mm.
is scary, right?
Well,
Because you know
dealing with the
what they're gonna
cardiologist
say.
in general is probably scary, but
Yes. Well, I mean, the reason I went is when was it? February, I think. I came back from wherever the hell I was, St. Lucia.
yeah, I think that
Yeah.
was that trip.
Yeah, I picked up some kind of virus on the way home, but starting to feel better. And then I started my Apple Watch is giving me low heart rate warnings.
Okay.
And normally, my resting heart rate is around 50, so it's low anyway.
Yeah.
But then over the course of the week, it kept dropping and dropping till at night it was in the 30s.
Oh my.
And I thought to myself, well, is it just going to stop eventually? I
I was
mean,
good.
where
Just
does this
winding
go?
down. Yeah.
So I did what anyone would do. I sent an email to my brother and said, "Do you think I should worry about this?" No. To be fair, he is a doctor.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, I mean, I guess you
Well,
could do that, but
here's the thing with any heart thing, I don't want to go there unless I really have to,
because it's going to
because
be
it becomes a
invasive.
thing,
Yep.
And he said, I don't know if you're asymptomatic, you probably don't have to rush to the ER, but you should get in and have an EKG. So that started a whole mess of things, I think I
Yeah.
had as of this week, I think I had 4 EKGs. I had a
Oh
stress
my
test.
gosh.
I had an echocardiogram. I had to wear a heart monitor for a week. And I think the conclusion was, who the fuck knows? You seem fine now.
So your heart rate, your resting heart rate is kind of
It's back
climbed and
around
gotten back
50.
to normal.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Well,
The new cardiologist, what question they're going to ask you, right?
about smoking, right?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
So I went in for the preemptive strike. When he said to me, "What do you do for fun?" I said, "I smoke cigars." he said, he said, "Well, how many do you smoke?" I
Oh
said,
God, that's the question with you.
well, I was evasive. I said, "I like to have a lot of fun."
So
And
you answered honestly and truthfully, just
that was the
maybe
end of that
not
conversation.
not detailed. Okay.
No,
Okay.
no, we just moved on from there. And
See, and the beauty is now there's all this court, evidence and whatnot from all the legal battles with the
yeah.
FDA that you can cite all kinds of stuff.
Well, and the first thing I said to him when he came in, I said, "Oh my God, this is great. You're a young doctor." I said, "All my people are aging out." My primary care physician, I believe, was in the Civil War. That's
God.
how old he is. And I mean, when I looked and tried to find, I think he's 80,
Okay.
but I
And he's
still
still
go because,
practicing.
yeah, I still go to
Okay.
him because, well, you can't get another primary care. There just aren't any
I know.
around.
Yeah.
And then also I figured, well, if I never ever need an amputation with a handsaw, he's going to have that experience
He
from the
will.
war.
And that's important, you know.
Yeah, and
You don't
the other,
you don't want to be bleeding out to death because somebody used the hacksaw
no,
inappropriately.
the other nice thing is every time he comes in, he'll say, "How are you doing, young man?" And I like
Oh,
that.
see, that's
Yeah,
nice. You're always the
yeah,
young man in comparison.
sure. you
Oh
know,
God.
I went to get my teeth cleaned on Monday, and they took the X-rays, and then it's like, oh, we got to have them look at it on Wednesday. Come back in. Now
Now, do you
him,
go to the official Cigar Authority dentist? The
I
one
do
that,
not. I've been going to
the
the
other 2 years?
same dentist for 39 years. I realized.
Okay.
So
Hey,
he's
that's
aging out.
consistency. Yeah.
Yeah, he's aging out. Yeah, he looks and he says, "Yeah, that ancient filling here really needs to be replaced." So he did that and decided, yeah, another ancient crown. It was time. So, it just keeps going when you get old.
So you've been poked and prodded and all kinds of shit
It
this
was a
week.
tough week.
Sounds like it. Sounds
Yeah,
like
but
it.
you know what I did? I just smoked some cigars and relaxed.
You had some fun. That's what
Although I,
matters.
I always feel like you shouldn't go to the medical professionals smelling of a cigar.
Probably not.
Yeah,
Probably
and
not.
they don't make appointments early enough in the day for me. So usually I have to smoke for a while and then have a shower and brush the teeth and
Yeah.
get ready to present myself.
No, I get that. I also remember that you probably shouldn't immediately board a plane after taking part in the
Mm,
Cigar
I
Authority
I do
because
I do that and people aren't happy, but
oh, the
whatever.
when I 2022 heading back home from the anniversary party up there, I left. We did the Cigar
Hmm.
Authority. Husto was there and everything, and Dave gave me that ride to the airport. And the
Hmm.
TSA woman was so
Hmm.
blunt when she looked at me and she goes, "You stink." And I'm like, okay. You know, I'm like, what am I gonna do about it? You know, it's like,
There's some
okay,
law against that.
yeah, I know. I'm like, well, okay, but
Oh,
yeah, no. So no.
yeah.
Going back to your point about smelling like cigars, like TSA also doesn't appreciate that.
All right. I'll bear that in mind. I won't change my behavior, but I'll
Well,
bear it in
exactly,
mind.
exactly.
Yeah.
So, um, yeah, I need to get. I haven't done the round of medical stuff in a while because let's be real, I know what I'm gonna hear,
Yeah.
so I don't need to hear it. I know it, but yeah, I haven't done that in a minute. Um, Now
Uh,
teeth wise though, I will say
you
I'm
work
for,
on the teeth.
I'm 42 and I've never had a cavity.
See, I'm in the old school before they, put the fluorine and water and all of that
Hmm.
stuff. So got off to a bad start. Right now, I never haven't any new cavities. It's just replacing all the ancient things they've stuck in my teeth.
Yeah, I see. I'm not a soda drinker, so I think that helps me out a lot.
Mm.
Um, However, my problem that I got to watch is like staining because I drink a lot of iced tea.
Oh,
So
iced
yeah,
tea, huh?
yeah,
Sweet tea or no?
unsweet. I drink it.
Unsweetened.
I drink it unsweet. So
Just that's your caffeine source to maintain it during the day.
yeah, because I'm not. I mean, I'll drink some coffee periodically in the mornings, but it's not
Hmm.
every day.
Really?
Um,
You don't have daily?
no, I don't do daily. So because I'm one person. I make the pot, and I haven't figured out the ratio of how much grounds to put in the thing yet to versus the water. So I just make the whole
Right.
damn pot. And so inevitably I waste like half a pot of coffee every time I do it. So, you
Right.
know, yeah,
Can't be bothered.
can't be bothered. And the thing is, I know that I'm supposed to be, measuring out with the spoonfuls and all this and everything. I
Right.
don't I take the bag and I dump it, it's
I
like I wing it.
I thought these journalists are supposed to just pound down coffee and smoke cigarettes. Or
Smoke a shit ton of
was that the
cigars.
1940s?
That might be the 40s, but I
Yeah,
smoke a shit
cigars
ton of
too. Yeah.
cigars.
I think the journalists like cigars.
They do, and having prior work in politics before
Mm.
journalism, I remember distinctly that when I started my job in politics, the I had taken over for somebody else, and I was told that I was the first person to use that desk in the last four that didn't have a bottle of whiskey in his drawer.
So
So
so you got some then?
no, no, I
No.
didn't. I let it go. I let it go. I had a
Because that
45-minute commute home. I wasn't going to be
mm,
drinking at work and then, driving home. That tends to
no, I
end.
think that is another thing. Even Lou Grant used to have one in the drawer, right? On Mary Tyler Moore,
Right.
you know.
And, um, Perry White from the Superman comics,
Oh
he
yeah.
smoked his cigars.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
it's
you've
like,
got some work to do.
I do. I do. I figured it out. So, but yeah, I figure between the weight and the cigars, I don't, I have enough reasons to not hit up the doctor just yet. It's like,
All right.
we need to, I know how this is going to go. Let's
Uh,
not do that. So,
Yeah, I mostly ignored it all until around age 40. Then I thought, okay, I ought to go in, have a check-in once a year or something.
well, that's probably a smart move. It's just not what I'm doing. But the thing is, I also know the inevitable, 50 is closer than it is far away. And that's when, you get the whole like drink a shit ton of Gatorade and go in and fall
Oh yeah.
asleep and they,
Hmm.
you know, colonoscopy you. So I don't want
Yeah,
that.
it's
But
a sad day when you go in with a complaint and they say, "Yeah, you're just old. That's just how it is now."
welcome to your new reality. It's
That's
going to
right.
hurt.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, that's funny. So the other day on the authority, I heard about your dog having a car.
Yeah, he does. He does.
Okay, so first of all, what kind of dog do you have? Is this a big dog or a little dog?
This is a big dog. He's about
Okay.
110 pounds.
Okay.
He's a Great Pyrenees mix.
Okay.
Now,
are those the white ones?
Yeah, the puffy white ones.
Okay.
So he's got some retriever to golden retriever. So he's, kind of a brown and white. And
Okay.
he's actually got a little bit of chow in there.
Okay. I had a chow mix. He was a great dog.
So he's got almost like a mane,
Yeah.
like the chow's doing. He's got the black spots on his tongue.
Okay.
The chows have that going on, but his name's Milo.
Okay, Milo.
Yeah, and listen, we had bought a Volkswagen for my daughter when she started driving. It seemed sensible and everything, and when she went
Safe
off
cars.
to college, that's when we got the dog, and it was, a Golf, so it's a hatchback. The dog could just jump in the back and keep all that fur. He sheds a lot out of my car. So we did that for a while, and the Volkswagen, had seen better days. So I thought, well, I still don't want him in my car. We better get him a car. And I had bought the Tesla, and I thought, well, I'm not going to buy a Tesla for my dog to hang around.
I'm sorry. I just did a retrohale on this.
Is it too much for you?
No, it definitely hit like surprisingly. So this has been a really kind of, I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt, but like it's a very smooth and creamy kind of smoking experience. And then you do that retrohale, and that's where like that burst of pepper just nails you. And I'm like, oh, that caught me really off guard. I did not expect
that it's Nicaraguan.
Right, exactly. So, okay. All right. Well, that's not going to catch me off guard. So I'm sorry. I totally interrupted with what I thought was going to be a casual retrohale. So anyway, so you didn't want the dog the hair in the Tesla.
Yeah. So me and the dog had a discussion, said we got to do some car shopping. And I said to him, listen, maybe you ought to think about an EV, but I'm not going to get you a Tesla. At that time, man, they were practically giving away the Chevy Bolts.
Okay.
Right? I think for a brand new car out the door, I ended up spending 20 grand.
Okay.
It was cheap enough. But,
which for an EV is really cheap. Yeah.
Yeah. And I had already put the charger in for the Tesla.
Okay.
And I got used to not going to gas stations. So I thought, well, mostly he doesn't go many places. He likes to go over to the conservation land and have a walk. He goes, to doggy daycare to be with his friends a couple times a week. And he goes to the vet, and that's it.
Okay. So it's not like it's like, a car that's going to get a ton of use.
No.
Yeah.
So I went in and negotiated, and the guy said, well, I mean, do we have a deal? I said, well, the car's not really for me, it's for my dog. And he said, your daughter? I said, no, it's for my dog. He said, oh. I said, yeah, so if you don't mind, I've got to bring him in for a test drive before we can get this deal done. And I mean, there was a reason for it, because he likes to have the back seats down and stand up in the back. And I didn't know if he was going to fit in this car.
Clearance. Yeah.
It had to be tall enough. And I took some measurements. I thought probably, but, it'd be better to make sure he likes it before I spend, 20 grand on his car.
For sure.
Yeah, so we went in, had our test drive, and I put him back in the other car, and the guy said to me, well, so what did he think?
Well, he gave me a lot of really good reasons why he liked this.
I said, no, he likes it. I think we're going to take it. He said, really? I said, yeah, we'll take this car. So
I love
it all
how
worked
there's
out
all this.
well.
I love how there's all this consideration of the dog and the dog's feelings in this matter.
Well, I mean, I didn't want him to have a car he didn't like.
Well, no. I mean,
No.
if you're gonna ride in it, you might as well enjoy it. So,
Right. I think his car just turned 3 and there's 16,000 miles on it.
oh my gosh.
Yeah, it
Oh my.
doesn't see a lot of use.
I wouldn't think, but well,
Oh,
that's
no.
that. Oh, that's great. I no, I heard that, and I'm like, okay, this is something I need to put a pin in to follow up on at some
We-
point.
Ed Sullivan, it's time for your almost 11:15 bourbon break. I brought you your bourbon for the.
Oh,
What the hell's
see,
going on here?
what the hell? So wait a minute. So Dave gets the potato chip break,
Yeah.
and
Hi,
you get your
parishioners.
hi, Mr.
Hi,
Jonathan.
parishioners.
Yeah, he definitely is kinder to Dave. You know,
He
I
brought you
feel-
bourbon. I don't know.
he really didn't even,
Oh,
because see,
oh,
Prop.
oh, he's just scamming an appearance. I see how this works.
Yeah, you understand everything is about him.
Oh well, yeah.
Why wouldn't it be?
Oh God, that's funny.
Yeah, I don't. Well, I have a snack for later when we get to talking about what we're watching and that sort of thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I have a companion snack.
A companion snack.
Sure.
Well, tell me a little bit about the Gold Star. I'm curious about that cigar. How's that going?
I really enjoy this cigar. Now, this is the first one I've had since it officially released. I
Mhm.
smoked the final blend where Dave was saying, I don't think we can go with this. It's too strong. I said, no, this is a great cigar. We should
Yeah.
definitely go. Well, I think it's too strong. He said, well, then don't smoke it.
I was gonna
You
say,
know?
like,
if we go by his palate, everything will be mild. So
well, if last year's cigar draft was any indication, he needed to go stronger with it because, he didn't win the draft, did he? You did.
no,
So
I
if
won.
yeah,
I don't think he was last though. That was Jonathan, right?
I can't
I don't-
remember. I know he was
Yeah.
last the first year,
Yeah,
but I don't know
yeah.
about last year. But
We
the
got to check because the draft is tomorrow again.
yeah, yeah.
And last year's standings will determine draft pick orders.
Oh, so you're
Right.
picking last.
I'm picking last.
Yeah,
yeah. It doesn't concern me that much,
no.
because we've got an expansion team
Oh yeah.
joining. Well, Dan's coming in for the draft,
Oh,
so
okay.
he's brand new. So I feel like he should get the first pick. He's got to build the team. He doesn't have anything.
Well, wait. You're not carrying over any players from last year, are you?
No.
Okay. So
No,
you're
no,
all
no.
yeah, but
But why not just give him the first pick? Dan smokes mild stuff, so
Yeah.
it's not going to take anything I care about.
okay. Oh, so it's gonna be a fight between Dan and Dave.
And Dave over the mild
They're
stuff.
they're gonna be
See,
picking all the mild stuff. Yeah.
I feel as though I'm probably ahead of the game. I'm the full body smoker, the only one this year. So
Oh.
I'm fine with them taking 3 picks.
Well, and that keys into the audience pretty well. So
Yeah, and this is what do they call those? Snake draft, right? So
Oh yeah.
I'll get 2 picks at number 4 and 5, which suits
Okay.
me fine.
Well,
You
yeah,
know.
because I mean, then basically, yeah, no, you'll be able to double back, and that'll work out.
Sure.
Oh, damn it!
Who can it be now? Now
That's
you
my-
get flagged.
That's my yeah, I know, right? Well, I'll take it out, but no, that's my ringtone. But I don't know who in the hell's calling me. But it doesn't matter.
Well, here's the thing too. Yeah, it's YouTube that likes to flag things, but often all they'll do is put a copyright claim on it. You won't get a strike or anything, and if you're not
Yeah.
monetizing, how do you care?
Exactly. And they don't
Yeah.
let you monetize cigar content on YouTube anyway.
No. And are you on Facebook's streaming?
No, I'm not on
Yeah.
Facebook streaming.
'Cause-
There was something, I don't remember what it was. When Facebook, and maybe this was when they were doing the podcasts for a while, because they've stopped that, right?
Mhm.
When they launched that, I remember looking at the terms and conditions of that, and there was something buried in the terms and conditions there that I like immediately cringed at. There's that construction noise from next door. Apparently
Oh boy.
we're cutting something. Anyway, there was something I cringed at in those terms and conditions, and I ended up deciding not to take part in the Facebook podcast thing. And I don't know if it was some sort of like ownership or, there was something about it that I was like, no, this is going to end poorly. So,
Well,
and then it went away.
when Facebook has a copyright problem, they tend to just silence that part of the video, which is fine. Whatever.
I mean, that's an easy solution. So
yeah.
no, it'll work out. I mean, I'll on the audio, I'll take care of getting rid of the men at work.
Nobody's gonna notice on the audio.
No. Anyway, what was that? What, I don't remember where we were even at, what we were talking about.
We've been everywhere.
Okay.
We're
Okay.
Everywhere
And here. So
maybe it's time for a segment.
You know what? I think it is. Let's go ahead and let's let you have your snack break with your inexistent bourbon there. It's time for the Villiger Cigars Entertainment Report, brought to you by Villiger. Villiger Cigars, one of the leading cigar and cigarello manufacturers in the world, founded in 1888 and still family owned and operated. Head over to villigercigars.com and check the store locator to find a shop near you that carries them. We guarantee that Villiger Cigars will be a wonderful addition to your humidor and cigar rotation. Okay, so you said you've been watching a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, this week, the stuff, I've got a set of things I've been watching, and then a couple things that are coming out next week that I think we need to focus on.
Okay.
So what I've been watching, a lot of comedy specials out this week.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd say we'll go in order of what I liked best.
Okay.
Jimmy Carr. Do you know Jimmy Carr?
I do know Jimmy Carr. He is one of the funniest dudes, and he has some of the bleakest, darkest, most like horrible jokes, and they're so funny.
You know what's great about it? It's great for low attention span people. A lot of it is one-liners.
Yeah.
Right. So he's got an hour special. You can watch 20 minutes, turn it, and come back to it later. You don't forget or miss anything.
For sure.
And yeah, he had a new one out this week. Very good.
Okay. I'll have to check that out.
That's on the Netflix. And then the next one was Neil Brennan.
Okay.
Do you know Neil Brennan?
I know the name is ringing a bell.
Yeah. So some of his stuff is pretty bleak, but he was he was one of the writers on the Chappelle Show.
Okay.
Really, really funny guy. Yeah. You probably know who he is if you look him up and see his picture, but
okay. Yep, I know this dude.
Yep.
Yeah.
Also put out a very good special.
Okay.
And
also on the Netflix. They do a lot of the comedy specials on the Netflix.
They do. They do. And then I guess the people who can't quite sell them to Netflix.
Oh God!
Like our third candidate, whose special is on YouTube.
Okay.
Brad Williams,
the little guy.
Yeah,
I love him. He came through St. Louis, and I missed him, and I was so upset that I did.
Well, he's got a new special out on YouTube. I believe it's called Starfish.
I've seen the Instagram reels and things like that with him.
Yeah.
And they're funny, it's always typically making fun of his height. And then I finally watched, he did have a Netflix special, and or maybe it was Amazon. I don't know, whatever. He had a maybe it was, I don't know, it doesn't matter. Anyway, and I watched his special, pint size, fun size, I think was it? I don't know.
Either
Anyway,
of those
whatever.
would make sense.
And oh my God, there were so many like dirty sex jokes in there too. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I didn't know he was this kind of comedian, but I'm digging it. You
He's
know, it's
got
funny.
some filth in this one.
Yeah.
No
Okay.
doubt about it. So
Okay.
yeah, that kept me busy this week in between.
He's been hanging
doctor
out with
appointments.
Wee Man a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, the two of them have been running around doing stuff.
I mean, he hasn't hooked up with Meatball yet from the last year's Cigar
Okay.
Expo.
So it's funny you mentioned that. So May 10th, it's a Friday, I believe. I'm going to be heading to Indianapolis because that Saturday is there's an IndyCar race, and so my dad and I are going to that. And then Sunday morning I'll be busting ass back, early so that I can do Mother's Day. However, that Friday, May 10th, there's a bar maybe 10 minutes up the road from my place called the Silver Creek Saloon.
Right.
And at the Silver Creek Saloon, micro wrestling is coming through that Friday.
Really?
And I'm like tempted to delay my trip to Indy to where I can go Friday night to see the micro wrestling, get up at like 5 a.m. and make the drive to Indy so that I make it there in time, plenty of time for us to, grab lunch and go to the race and hang out and everything. I'm very tempted because every time the micro wrestling comes through St. Louis, they always go to the Hustler Club to perform.
Right.
And I don't want to go to the Hustler Club.
Right.
This is
You
a
don't
nice
need
little
that.
I don't need that, but this is a nice little bar just up the street from me. I could be home in 10 minutes after the show, and ringside seats are like $30.
Ooh.
Right?
I don't know.
It's tempting. It's very tempting.
Have you checked who's on the card for that night? Not
have
that you'll know
not.
who any of them are.
No, but who did I mention this to? I mentioned this to somebody, and they were telling me, they're like, the group that's been traveling around is supposed to be really, really good. And I'm just like, how do you know that? Like, how do people know that?
Right.
But yeah. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
know.
I'm tempted.
Yeah, well, it's 2 weeks from today, so you'll have a little bit of time to consider.
I get a little time.
You got a little time. Well, the other one I watched not long ago, and this feeds into what's being released next week, a movie called Boiling Point. Do you know this?
Boiling Point. No, we're hitting the Googles.
I think there were probably more than one with that name. This one was made in the UK during COVID, and it's sort of, let's say it's kind of a UK-ish version of The Bear. Did you watch that?
Yes, I have watched it, and I'm looking at it right now. So it's the kitchen thing. This is the one. Hang on. I've seen.
This is not. This is
not what
a
I'm
short
thinking
film. It's not like
this
a
is
Gordon
not
Ramsay or one of those.
Yeah. Okay. This is not what I'm thinking of, but okay. But I'm into the kitchen stuff. I mean, the bear is really good.
All right, check out Boiling Point. That's on Amazon Prime.
Okay.
And here's an interesting thing about that film. It was shot in one continuous take.
Really?
Yeah, no retakes. I guess what they did is
wow.
They made it during COVID.
Yeah.
In an actual restaurant. So this is not high budget stuff, but they actually just beginning to end did 3 takes of it, right? So no real, there was some editing, for continuity and stuff, but you don't get to re-say anything.
Interesting. That's always a big deal. I remember when I took a film class in college, we spent quite a bit of time talking about, have you ever seen the movie The Player with I think Tim Robbins?
No.
It's all about this guy that's working out in Hollywood. Well, the beginning of that movie and it's a fairly long sequence, is one continuous take. So the camera's moving through crowds and going this and going there and everything. And it's really, really impressive. And so, but to do an entire film like that.
Yeah, they did they did it 3 times and settled on the second time was the one they went with.
Wow.
Really interesting movie. And I talked to Chef Charlie about it. He said that that's more accurate than The Bear in terms of capturing, because a lot of the characters don't have any redeeming qualities. You don't
Yeah.
get somebody who gets to, just go off to Scandinavia and become a pastry chef in a very unlikely turn of events, or somebody who turns from total loser to the best front of the house guy in the industry.
I've never worked in a kitchen or a restaurant. Like, I've never done food service, but I know enough people that have, to where what you're telling me makes a lot of sense, because a lot of times they're just basic people that are
Yeah.
angrily getting through their day.
Yeah, some really good blowout fights in that, with chef yelling at the front of the house people. You got the guy saying, I got to take the trash to the dumpster to go smoke his weed. It's more like real life.
That's funny.
But yeah, check that out, because I think on Monday they went back and made, I don't know, a 5 or 6-part series as a follow-up to the original movie, because it was so
really?
successful. So that, I believe, is coming out Monday on Netflix.
Okay. All right.
So if you like the restaurant stuff, this is where you got to go.
Okay. I'll have to check that out.
Yeah, nothing to feel good about.
It's all right.
It's all right.
It's entertaining. That's it. I mean, I assume it's entertaining. You're telling me about
it's
it.
very entertaining.
All right.
I liked it a lot.
I will check that out.
A little bit bleak at times, but I like that too.
Whatever. That's fine.
Whatever. It's life, All right.
Exactly.
So the final thing that's coming out on Friday.
Okay. Pop-Tarts Crunchy Poppers?
Yeah, the Pop-Tart movie will be out on Friday.
I'm sorry. What? I don't know.
Where have you been?
No, I have missed this news. What?
This movie is, I believe it's coming out on Netflix, called Unfrosted.
That sounds like a bad porno. It's like, well, he didn't quite perform, so the name of it's Unfrosted.
This piece of cinema is brought to you by Jerry Seinfeld.
Really?
He had a routine about Pop-Tarts or something, but this is sort of, it's highly fictionalized, but, the rush to get the breakfast pastry out, with Post and Kellogg's, and there's intrigue, there's evil, but it's an all-star cast. I believe Jim Gaffigan is in it, Melissa McCarthy, Bill Burr is playing JFK in this particular
Oh my God.
film. So I assume it will be ridiculous.
What does JFK have to do with Pop-Tarts?
I don't know. And Hugh Grant, I believe, is in
Oh my gosh.
Oh, this is going to be
Where
something.
have I been? This is like a thing.
This is big. This is big.
Okay. All right. Well, that's going to have to go on my list with Boiling Point, is Unfrosted.
Coming
all right,
to you
then.
A week from today on Netflix.
So speaking of comedians on Netflix, I've had a guy on the show before. His name is Dusty Slay. I don't know if you know him.
No.
He is he's kind of a look, I'll just be honest. He's kind of a redneck comedian. He's got the long hair and the trucker hat and everything. And he's doing the we're having a good time. That's his bit and everything. But he's a cigar smoker. He's been on the show before. Super nice guy. And he has a comedy special on Netflix that I checked out. And he talks about restaurants and because he used to work in restaurants, and he talks about working at the Sizzler and and all that, and eating off people's plates. He's at one point he's talking about, my rule of thumb was, would I make out with her? And if I would make out with her, then I'd go ahead and eat off her plate,
That's good assessment.
Yeah. So, anyway,
Yeah, everybody needs rules to live by. You know,
you got to have some standards.
For me, an important rule is I will never buy unwrapped food items in a place that sells live bait. And that's a rule that I've kept up my entire life. You know,
know what?
sometimes you go
I
to
like
these
that
little
rule.
convenience places, you know, near a river or a lake, and they got
Yeah.
buckets of bait and donuts. They're just sitting. I'm just not going to go for that.
There's going to be worm particulate on the donut.
There's
You don't
something.
want that. You don't
No.
want that.
You don't know where they playing with the bait and then they put the donut. We don't know what happened.
You don't know. Possibly, you know.
Yeah, you gotta have rules.
You know, that's one of those life rules that it never clicks. It never clicked with me, and then when you say it, it immediately was like, "Yep, nope, that makes perfect sense."
Yeah,
You don't need to consider it any further. Oh
and,
shit!
I mean, a lot of people go through life not going to any place that has both of those things.
Well, living in Southern Illinois, I mean, I have been to my fair share of those kind of places, you know. So
yeah, because usually
yeah,
they proudly display the sign in the window that says live bait.
live bait. I was gonna say it's a draw, you know.
Oh, yeah.
Oh shit. Yeah, no, that's funny. I'm trying to think of what else I like I said, this week has been really busy in terms of work and stuff, so I haven't really watched a lot. Oh, there's that show Fallout on Amazon. I have been watching that. It's like post-apocalyptic, well, not post-nuclear war kind of thing. But Walton Goggins is in it, and I love Walton Goggins. Like,
he's the best.
Dude, he was so good on The Shield, and I love him in The Righteous Gemstones as Baby Billy. That's like probably my favorite character from that show. Have you ever watched that?
No.
It's on HBO,
and I need to see it.
It's got John Goodman, and he plays kind of like the patriarch of the Gemstone family, and so he's a TV evangelist and like church leader kind of thing. And then it's got his kids. One of his kids is Danny McBride, the guy from Eastbound and Down, and a whole bunch of other stuff. Then there's another son and a daughter, and they're wacky and getting into trouble. And then but Baby Billy, so Walton Goggins, is John Goodman's brother-in-law, and he's got his own little evangelistic thing going on. But it's so funny, and it's so off the wall, and it's just bizarre. I love that show so much.
And Walter Goggins was great in Justified too.
Yes.
Yeah. No.
So
he's always kind of the same sort of thing, but he does it so well.
Yeah. But he's in this Fallout show, and I've been enjoying that. But anyway, cool.
The other comedy special, if you haven't seen it, would be Dave Attell's.
Okay.
That's on Netflix.
Yeah, I haven't seen that one either.
I've got a whole bunch going on.
I've got a whole bunch of them listed or in my queue that I need to watch. I just it's one of those things where I just haven't sat down to do it, but I should, because they're, like you said, you can float in and well, some of them. Bill Burr's, you can't float in and float out with Bill Burr.
No.
Because my God, the setup for his jokes can be half an hour of like everything just to get to the one punchline.
And Chappelle's another one, right? He's a great storyteller. It could go very long for any particular one.
Yeah, but interesting. All right. Well, cool. Well, why don't we go ahead and do this now?
Guess what, motherfucker?
It's time for 3 cigars we smoked and enjoyed this week. And I need to get the Pinky Fun Facts re-edited. I'm slacking. She recorded a whole bunch of them. And so I need to get those edited up. But so you're getting 3 cigars we smoked and enjoyed this week on this one. But do you have some that you want to list off?
Well,
I mean, we both know you
smoked a few more than 3.
I would say we both know you smoked a whole lot more than 3. How many do
Yeah.
you go? Do you have an average of a daily count?
8-ish.
Okay.
Now, bear in mind, some of those are small,
Well,
right?
yeah,
I
you like
smoke
the
a lot of the
Coronas and the
HVC half Coronas.
yeah.
It might include a Perdomo Purito for the dog walk. And,
Okay.
so it's not 8 Toros a day, although
Precisely.
I've been smoking at least, for the first one, 2 McAuliffe Blacks per day.
Okay.
And I really enjoy that cigar. It's hard to beat at that price point.
Mm-hmm.
The second thing that surprisingly I very much enjoyed was the McAuliffe Blue. And
So
I
I
say
haven't smoked that
surprising
yet.
because it's Sumatra
Oh.
wrapper, but
Yeah, because you're not a Sumatra guy.
I'm not, although they say it's San Andreas Sumatra, so I guess it's Mexican grown Sumatra.
Okay.
Whatever they did, whether it was the soil it was grown in or the way they fermented it and processed it, they took a lot of the yuck out of the Sumatra.
Well, that's
And
good.
yeah, it's a very solid medium cigar. And again, same price point, right? $8 for the Toro, 8 whatever for a Toro, 7 whatever for a Robusto.
No, they're killing it with that price point. You can't beat it.
And you know what I'm going to list for the third cigar this week?
What?
The McAuliffe Red.
I was gonna say, are you just gonna go for the trifecta? See, and now you're just bragging because that's one that you had that none of the rest of us have had yet.
No, and it was very, very good cigar. I'd put
And that one's broadleaf, right?
it's a broadleaf binder. I think they still use the San Andreas wrapper.
Oh, okay.
Broadleaf binder, and I'm sure the fillers were rearranged as well. It comes in, strength wise, somewhere between the blue and the black. I think you could slot the red in.
So if you had a half point on the strengthometer, it would go.
Oh,
right there.
I mean, if I could, but as you know, you can't.
No, you can't. You gotta.
And if
deem a
something's
full number.
like a 4.99, it's a 4.
No,
I don't
you
know.
round up. I've learned that from math.
Not in
No.
Dave world.
You learn that in math class when you're young. That if it's over 0.5, you just round up. If
Nick,
it's
I
under
think-
0.5, you round down.
I think he wasn't paying attention in those classes. 'Cause it doesn't work that way in his world.
Okay.
In
Okay,
the
well.
cigar-o-meter world.
The cigar-o-meter world.
And I mean, the cigar you're smoking, where does that fall on the cigar-o-meter?
Let me see. I might be able to actually pull this up.
What, the
Oh, look at that.
cigar-o-meter?
Look at that right there on the phone.
Wow.
I've got it right there on the phone. So this one, okay. So I would say that it's definitely less than a Perdomo Champagne, which comes in at a 7. So I would also say that it's less than, I'm looking at the ones at 6. I would say it's less than a Garofalo Sungrown.
And which one, what wrapper is that you're smoking?
This is the Connecticut. This is the 30th Connecticut.
Yeah. I think it's less than a Garofalo Sungrown. Yeah.
For sure. So now taking it down to 5, we have the West Tampa Red, El Baton, Nestor Miranda Special Selection, Bandolero.
It feels like it's in that range.
I could put it in that range because then if you go to 4, you're talking Atabay, Sobremesa Brulee.
Yeah,
Avo
it's
Maduro.
above those. So
It's above those. So I think it's a 5.
all right. I think you nailed it.
You realize we just made Dave's day by using this thing and
Well,
putting
and
this
for you
cigar
to
as a
be able
5.
to pull it up on your phone that fast.
Hey,
that's amazing.
I mean, it was in my downloads because I got the email with it.
He's talking about making wallet-sized versions of that because
he's gonna have to cut the text on it. You can't list that many cigars on that thing if you're gonna make a wallet version because otherwise the font size is gonna be like 0.2.
Yeah. Ooh,
Yeah.
That's good. Maybe he needs an app.
There you go. And see if he. Oh, now see. Let's flesh this out here.
All
If he
right.
builds an app, then I, as the consumer, could potentially list the
Right.
30th Connecticut as a 5, and it could go in, and people could like kind of group test it,
Sure. We can.
and then you could add it
If all
officially if
this
it hits a
data
certain
goes
point.
back to the server, then we can see, okay, what are people really thinking about this?
Right? Yeah.
Oh,
No,
man.
that's not a bad idea.
Yeah, I don't think he'll bother, but you never know.
You never do.
You
I don't know.
never know.
He
We'll
seems pretty
see.
high on the strengthometer.
Yeah, it seems very important in his world.
Well, it's because he was always coming in undervalued on the strength with you guys.
I know, but now no matter what we say, he just yells at us.
I've noticed.
Well, he was before too.
He was pretty aggressive in that show. I'll give him that. I know you guys had the emails and everything, but
Yeah.
I was listening to that episode, and like you guys were just needling, and he did get the Maduro Dave came out. It was like, yeah, like it wasn't. The pissed off Christoph, it's like Bruce Banner gets pissed off. Well, when Dave Garofalo gets pissed off,
When he
turns
goes Maduro, full Maduro,
full Maduro,
like a triple Maduro.
Black and Dave. Anyway, so my first one, for the 3 cigars, I smoked, the first one I smoked that I really did enjoy. I got in a nice care package, from Renee at Villiger of the Villiger Miami in the it's the Toro size. I don't know. They have another name for it. I can't remember it off the top of my head, but it's like 5 7/8 by something. So it's just shy of 6 inches. And so it's basically a Toro size. But I really like the Villiger Miami. That was the cigar that they put together where when you visit their offices, and you can get one, and that's why it's called the Miami. And then but originally it was in a Lancero size. And then that they did a limited release of those after a while, and they ended up expanding the line and doing like this Toro size with it. And it's nice. It's good. It's a nice, pleasant, creamy cigar. It's got some good floral notes to it. I really did enjoy that cigar a lot. And then the second Villiger.
Is that you doing that, Villiger?
No, that would be Travis from the Smoking Butts and Tapping Ash podcast.
All right.
He did that one time. I wanted somebody else to do it.
Sure.
And he just randomly did it. And I was like, I'm going to go ahead and clip that and use it, because I don't want to record it myself. He keeps wanting royalties, but I'm like, dude, I don't make any money. So
yeah, no, it's pretty good. You could give him 1% of what you make.
I bring him enough cigars every time I see him anyway, that I figure he's probably made his money.
He's
back
compensated.
On it.
Yeah.
Very much so. Very much so. And then the next one I smoked, and this is going to be one that probably blows everybody's minds, because I'll be honest, it kind of blew my mind. I was digging through the humidor, and I found some just old cigar, not old, but like they've been sitting there a while, that
well aged,
yeah, that I don't even know where in the hell I got them. I'm assuming there were 3 of them, and so I'm assuming they were probably in some sort of a gift pack that I'd been given at some point. I wanted something for the road when I was driving up to my printer and everything. So when I'm driving, I tend to not want to do something that's like really nice, because I don't want something that you're in the car, you don't want to have to pay attention
the really
to it.
Good stuff you actually want to smoke by yourself,
and
be able to sit and contemplate and really focus on the cigar.
Remind me, I want to come back to this after we're done with this segment, because I have a question for you that I want to talk about. So I ended up smoking the Monte Cristo Classic Series Toro.
Interesting.
And that thing smoked wonderfully. It had just enough strength that it kept my interest. It had, relatively basic flavor and everything, but it was nice. It was pleasant. construction on it, smoked beautifully. And nice, good smoke production, wonderful draw. I smoked that, and by the end of the day, so that was Wednesday. I smoked the one in the car. By the end of the day, I was sitting out by my fire in the yard, and I ended up smoking the other two. So I smoked
Really?
3 of those damn things on Wednesday just because they were smoking
So
so well.
you had like a 3-pack or something.
Yeah, I don't know if it like
Oh.
came with a lighter or if I got it. I don't know how in the hell I came
Some
across
free
these
goods
things.
at some point. But
Something, but it was like, holy shit, these are actually smoking pretty decent. And so, yeah, so I smoked the Monte Cristo Classic series.
wow, that is
I
a
know.
shocker.
I'm surprised by it, you know.
Hmm.
And then the last one that I had that I enjoyed was I had a Diamond Crown Julius Caesar Toro.
Oh, yeah.
And you can't go wrong with that
The,
cigar.
the one I love in the Julius Caesar is that little Perfecto.
Okay.
I can't remember the name. It has a date associated with it, but
Mm,
phenomenal little cigar, packed with flavor.
there you go. No, I've been smoking I had that Diamond Crown, but I've been smoking a lot of the El Baton in the Bellicoso size. I have a
Yeah, I mean, there's a cigar in the shop called El Baton. Did you know that?
exactly. I mean, I've heard that before, although I haven't heard it lately. I guess you guys,
No.
I guess Drew must not have liked it because he swapped it out with the one about the factory.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was Drew's doing.
I
He must
assume
have
that
finally
because
heard it and said,
yeah,
"What the hell?"
what is this? But I don't know. So no, going back to the topic about picking your cigars.
Sure.
I was having a discussion with my dad the other day. He called me up and we just talked about a bunch of random shit. But he was sitting out in his driveway and he was smoking a factory smoke. And I was like, and he's telling me, he said, I was sitting in there, I was looking in the humidor and I'm looking at what I've got. And he said, I've got this Atabay that you gave me. I've got this, I've got that. And he's like, but it's windy outside. And I didn't want to have, he's like, I didn't want to smoke something that's really good because I don't want to like essentially waste this really good cigar.
Yep.
I want to actually enjoy it. And he's like, so, I'm looking at it, I'm like, I guess I'll just smoke one of these factory smokes. So then it becomes a question of when do you how do you pick, based upon what you're doing, how do you pick what cigar you're gonna take and enjoy when you're doing it?
Context is critical, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if you're having an outdoor cigar in iffy weather, I think you got to go more substantial wrapper, especially if there's wind.
For sure. You don't want a
sometimes
really
those
light cigar.
Connecticut's will blow the wrapper right off of that thing.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, like you don't want, and also, if it's super windy, you're not going to be getting nearly as much flavor and everything else off of it because Mother Nature's taking it away.
Another consideration is, well, how much time do you have? Is there a chance
True.
you'll be interrupted while you're having this cigar? Because I'm not I'm not a guy who likes to relight a cigar.
Mm-mm.
Listen, I know how you're supposed to relight it. It's not as good for me.
No.
If the cigar, if it goes out while you're smoking it, even a Connecticut, if it goes out while I'm smoking it and I have to relight completely, doesn't taste the same to me. A Maduro seems to hold up a little better to a relight while you're smoking it. But so that's why I like having all different sizes. So often I select based on time available.
Okay.
That's an important factor for me. And, like those HVC half Coronas. Well, even if I run out of time and don't finish it, okay, I'm out less than $5, right? Because maybe I smoked half of it. So
yeah,
I haven't, don't feel like I lost out a lot on that cigar.
that makes sense.
But yeah, for the ones that if I'm reviewing cigars, like for Cigar Journal, then yeah, it's got to be all by my lonesome. Don't like to ever smoke those outside. Something about outside changes things for me, even
Well,
if it's a beautiful day.
for sure, because the thing is, part of the experience of smoking it is the aroma as the smoke's in the air and that
Yeah.
sort of thing. And if you're outside, the wind just takes it
It
away
all
immediately.
dissipates. Yeah.
You lose 50% right there.
And you got a lot of competing aromas outside that you don't
Mm-hmm.
necessarily have indoors. So, for me, yeah, if it's something that is really something I want to concentrate on, either for review purposes or this is supposed to be a special cigar, got to be all by myself indoors.
There you go.
That's
Okay.
my rules.
Same. I still have that is it a Byron? Whatever it was in the December care package, that $65
I think it
cigar that you
was.
guys,
Yeah,
I think it was
a
a Byron. I'm still sitting on that thing because I'm like, I haven't found the moment,
Well, you need a lot of time for it. It's a
Well,
pretty big cigar.
and to be honest, for me, it will be the most expensive cigar I've smoked at that point. Like the $50 is currently the top, but like this is gonna exceed that. And so it's one of those things that, given the value of the cigar, it's like, yeah, if I'm gonna smoke this thing, even though it came in a care package, it was very
Yeah.
generous to include it in that. The bottom line is, I don't want to just burn it. I want to enjoy it.
No, you got to. You
Yeah.
gotta see what all this hype is about.
For sure. For sure.
Well, and this week I went through my humidor because it was getting cluttered.
Uh-huh.
Decided, okay, maybe it's time to donate some cigars to Cigars for Warriors. So
Okay.
this gives you, a good chance to look at things and say, am I ever going to smoke that?
I need to do that myself because
And
I'm in the process of packing all my stuff because
yeah,
at some point here I'm moving, so it's like I'm slowly packing. That's
well,
not a bad idea. Go through the cigars and parse it
and
out.
then think about it. Am I really going to smoke that? Because
Yeah.
I came up with I think about 320 cigars that I was able to share
Oh my
with
gosh.
with the troops.
Okay. Well, that's a generous donation. That's
And
nice.
listen, I'm not saying any of them were bad.
Yeah.
A lot of the cigars were actually very good cigars, but for me, it was more like, am I going to smoke that? No,
Yeah.
I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not going to smoke that. So, I think they did pretty well.
Well, between TPE and various other things, I mean, like, and I don't know. I have cigars. I don't even know where that. Well, like these Monte Cristos, I have no clue where in the hell these things came from. And yeah, I'm sitting on cigars, and I'm like, yeah, I probably need to parse them out.
And I sort of feel like if a rep or a manufacturer is giving me cigars, even if right at that point I know I'm not going to smoke it,
Yeah.
it probably isn't the right thing to say. No, you just keep it because I'll never smoke that.
Well, yeah, you don't want to be disrespectful. Yeah.
No. So
Yeah.
I'll take it, and then it goes in the humidor and sits there for many years.
Now, do you keep some on hand for like visitors that are like, oh, I'll have a cigar, and you're like, okay, here's one of these. Do you not do
No,
that?
nobody visits me.
I was. That's what I was kind of getting at. I didn't know if like you were being social in that regard or not.
No, I've got I've got some Lagianas for that. If it's not
Okay.
a person who normally smokes cigars, if it's somebody that enjoys cigars, take whatever you want,
Gotcha.
grab it. And none of my stuff is terribly light except for the Lagianas. And I don't know.
Yeah.
Anything else light? Not really. Because
Okay.
even when I have Perdomo champagne, that's not a light cigar.
Not a light cigar, no. Well, and why are you, taking up space in your humidor with something you're not going to smoke?
I can't. I just can't do it.
The space is too valuable.
It really is. I mean, I'm not right at the moment now. It's probably only 2/3 full, so I got some room for expansion.
See, there you go. Now
Yeah.
Dave gets some more purchases and everything's perfect.
Well, I went a little crazy, between buying stuff at the March Madness sale and then McAuliffe was in, and Two Guys is revamping their points program.
Oh, really?
So, yeah, you got to use up the points that you have by the end of this month.
Oh, shit. I didn't know that.
Yes.
I've got a bunch of points sitting over there.
Well, you better have a look at that because
Oh, crap.
they all go away at the end of the month and a new points program starts.
Wait, the end of April?
Yes.
Shit, I've got like days.
6
Okay.
days. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, no, I need to
This
get
is
on that then,
important,
because
even if you're going to collect up Lotus Jaws cutter and a lighter, you got to get on that.
because see, I believe the show pack counts for that. All my other purchases, when I was up in 22, I spent admittedly probably more than I should have. And so it's like I have a decent amount of points sitting there.
You
I need
better
to
get on that.
Yeah, you know what? I need to figure that out.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, you know what it was with the non-expiring over time, a lot of people have even died. And from an accounting
Oh,
standpoint, you have to
yeah.
account for this.
Really?
So,
You
yeah.
can't, they don't just disappear and it's like no big deal?
No,
I didn't
no.
realize that.
This is a liability
I had no
on
idea
your
that it was that.
books. Yeah,
I didn't know that
yeah.
it counted towards the books like that.
Oh, it does. And
Huh.
so I think this was not so much a Dave decision as an accountant decision.
Okay.
You can't leave that out there forever. And really, when you're talking about doing it for a couple of decades,
Yeah.
people died that just had points.
Well,
sitting out there.
it's funny you bring that up because I was talking to somebody recently about developing up their will and that sort of thing. And when they were sitting with the lawyer and they were discussing it, the lawyer was asking all kinds of questions about, do you have vacation property? Do you have a boat? Do you have this? Do you have that? But one of the things that was asked that they didn't even consider were like Disney vacation points. Because apparently that's something that, it's an asset that you have to like, either will away or something like, or somehow, I don't even know how that works, but yeah, like Disney Club vacation points and shit or something.
I don't know anything about this Disney stuff.
Oh, don't get me started. It's the cult of the mouse. My ex-wife was what you call a Disney adult.
Yeah,
and
when I tell Dan Davison he's a Disney adult, he gets really offended.
Oh, does he know? Does he know which snack bars have the churros and which ones have the Dole Whip?
It all.
Yeah, see, he's a Disney adult then. I don't care.
I think he tries to pass himself off as a Disney enthusiast, but he's a Disney adult.
I don't get it. My ex-wife is trying to get my kid to be a card-carrying member of the Cult of the Mouse, and I'm just like,
does that
no.
even make sense? I mean, adult has a connotation beyond just age. So Disney adult doesn't really make any sense.
I mean, unless you want to hook up with Goofy, but
oh boy,
we won't get into my ex-wife's current dating situation, but that's neither here nor there. Anyway, moving on. Why don't we hear about My Monthly Cigars? This would normally be the time that I give some information about My Monthly Cigars, but I've hired that out this week, so take it away.
My Monthly Cigars is a premium cigar subscription service. It comes in a variety of different size boxes at affordable prices. Use offer code PULPIT and get free shipping in your first box and 20% off any items in the online store at mymonthlycigars.com.
That's offer code PULPIT. Thanks. And while you guys are over there, make sure you check out the fucking good coffee. And speaking of fucking good, so Tuesday,
I know where this is going.
Yeah, so Tuesday I had Luke on the show and we were discussing the fucking good cigar. And we're promoting, hey, go on, sign up for the email, you'll get information about when the cigar is going to be released for pre-sale and blah 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 and all that. I recorded that with Luke on Monday. Tuesday the episode comes out. And Tuesday, Nick puts out the email saying pre-orders are going to be tomorrow. And I'm like, dude, why didn't you tell me that? Like, if you would have told me that, we could have actually like announced it, but
Promoted it. Yeah.
promoted it. So yeah, pre-orders have taken place on the fucking good cigar. I don't know if there's any left for pre-order. If so, reach out to Nick Gervais and talk to him. But yeah, at least for right now, I guess people have already got it on order. So
that's what I should have
we'll see
done.
what's happening.
I saw Oliver just before I came on. I should have asked him if he has any samples so that I could smoke it and torment you.
Yeah, I haven't had it yet. It's like,
I haven't either.
But like,
I would guess Oliver may have some, even if they're not banded.
I was gonna say maybe unbanded, but he should have. I would think he would have some.
Well, I'll probably have one after my gold star.
Oh, okay.
And you won't.
And I won't. I won't. I don't know. Hopefully, I'll get one.
Is that something you want?
I mean, I'd like to try it.
Yeah.
It's fucking
How does it
good.
feel
Apparently,
to want? You're not gonna get that.
I mean, yeah, I don't know. Well, I mean, I wanted to try the butt plug, but that came out right around the same. Not the butt plug. The plug cigar. The butt plug
I thought
cigar
was good.
Yeah, I thought it was good. I had every intention of trying that, but that decided to get released right at the same time I had almost a $9,000 tax bill to pay to the federal government. So, gotta be an adult and pay the Fed, so yeah.
Yeah. On Saturday's show, I'm thinking, we got guests. I don't know if I should be using the butt plug drop, but Al seemed like the kind of guest who could appreciate it.
Al made reference to a strip club probably 4 different times. That dude, he cracked me up with that. I'm like, okay.
He was a great guest, wasn't he?
He really was. And Dave, I don't remember what it is. I'll have to go back and listen. Dave said something. There was a clip. There was a 1-sentence little thing that he said. And I'm sitting there in the car and I heard that and I'm thinking, oh, Ed, you need to clip that.
Hold on a sec. Hey, Oliver, do you got any fucking good cigar samples? No? You have nothing. You don't have to say hi. It's just
nothing.
It's just Nick.
What's up, Oliver? How you doing?
No, you can't hear.
What is that? Is that a fucking good?
No, he said he doesn't have any.
Well,
I don't know.
I don't know.
I mean, it's possible he smoked the samples and then they agreed on the final blend and that was that. I don't know.
I'll have to.
Could be hoarding them. He
could. I mean, they're all sitting there in Ohio waiting for. I guess they're in Ohio by now. I don't know. They're around somewhere. Yeah. But anyway, no. There's something Dave said that when I heard it, I was like, "Oh, there's a drop. There's a clip." So I'll have to go back and find it. And I'll shoot you a text and give you a timestamp and let you know.
Yeah, because I need something.
Yeah, new. I was like thinking, I'm like that could be used. Yeah, I like keeping an array, a library of various things. That
you need that, right?
You do. You never know when you need to drop something like that in.
The part I found most interesting is when Mr. J asked Al, "Well, would you hire Dave?" And he didn't answer. He did not.
Yeah, he said, "I'd be
yes.
friends with Dave." It's like, okay.
Well, and I think what it is he knows that you couldn't hire Dave as an employee.
No, Dave's the guy.
He's gotta be. Yeah. I think Al recognized a kindred soul, and the two of them. You just can't work together.
No. I joke like that about myself a lot of times. It's like after 10 years of being in the newspaper business and having my own business and doing my own thing and, making my own schedule and wearing what I want. I mean, like, my God, I can't tell you the last time I've actually worn a suit. It's like one of those things where it's like, yeah, I'm ruined for corporate life at this point. So
that's it.
It's just one of those things, but I get it.
Even you don't want to work with you. So how's anybody else going to do it?
Precisely. My boss is a dick, but anyway. Well, Well, I'm available on the socials. I'm on Instagram at the Cigar Pulpit. I'm on Facebook where we have the Pulpit Parishioners group. I'm on Twitter/X, YouTube where you can watch this. And guys, there are still a few tickets left for Pulpit Fest 2024 down in Palm Coast, Florida. You can go over to Eventbrite, BRITE.com, search for Pulpit Fest and sign up. You get your complimentary ticket and come and hang out with us down in Florida for a weekend. It's going to be a fun time. I know that Renee and his rep from Villiger are going to be there. I'm 85% sure that Trey Mack from Aladino is going to be there. He and I spoke this week. It's a little bit of a slight calendar thing that we're working on, which kind of sucks considering he was in on the discussion about what days we were going to do this. But such
Isn't
is life.
that always the way?
It's always the way, always the way. And then
I can only do it this weekend, and then you book it,
and then
I don't know.
And then 2 weeks later, it's like we might need to change the dates on that. It's like, dude, people have already booked rooms. It's not changing at this point. Airbnbs are booked. It's like no. And then Jerry Pulaski, listener Jerry Pulaski, is going to be coming down from Wisconsin. He'll be hitching a ride on the undercarriage of a Greyhound bus to come down and party with us. So
he'll bring cheese, right?
I would think so. I don't know if I'd want to eat anything that Jerry Pulaski gave me, though.
No.
Yeah, I mean, it might be laced with God knows what. But
I had that problem at work. I worked with a Vietnam vet who I don't think all of them made it home. We'll put it that way. He
left a little bit in the rice patties, is what you're saying.
It was a little bit dingy all the time, wearing a barn coat that was sort of dirty. And he came up to me one day and he reaches in the pocket and pulls out a sad looking cookie and says, "Hey, you want to have a cookie?" I said, no, I don't think so.
No, I think I'm good.
He said, "My mother made it." I said, "All right, well, I'll take one and have it later."
Yeah.
Aren't you going to eat it now?
Well, I guess you're stuck now.
No,
No?
I managed to hold him off. I said, I'd love it. It looks great, but I just had my lunch. I'm going to have that for a special snack later on.
Oh,
Yeah.
I know people that would have eaten that. So, I give you credit for not.
It just looked disturbing. His hands were filthy.
I mean, builds your immune system, I suppose. But
I suppose, we ate dirt as kids, so we're fine.
Drinking from hoses, things of that nature.
Oh, yeah. We could do it all back in the olden days.
I was talking about somebody about that too this week, and how, like, my generation, we kind of straddled the line. So we had like an analog childhood, but then we had a digital adulthood. And so, you're going out and you come home when the street lights come on and this and that and whatever else. But, the kids these days, man, I sound so old, the kids these days, but it's like they get their faces buried in their phones and everything else.
Oh, well. There's really no hope for the future, but we're not part of it anyway.
Exactly. I'm counting down days at this point. So,
Sure.
So where can social media? Are you?
Nobody can find me anywhere.
Okay.
I'm unavailable. Although they can see and hear me on the Ashholes Podcast, or mostly just hear me on the Cigar Authority. I don't like to show my face too much.
No, but you always come in with those little zingers, like out of nowhere.
Yeah,
you're the Cigar Authority ninja, man. You come in from the side, you just blindside somebody, and then you go back and be quiet for like 10 more minutes.
Just give the pot a stir and
exactly.
mute myself again and watch what happens. Listen, half the time Jonathan and Dave have no idea what it is I've just said, which makes it even more fun.
That is fun. Oh God. And you can tell every once in a while you say something and I'm rolling and they're just not reacting, and I'm thinking they didn't get that, or they didn't catch that, or
sometimes
something.
There's a couple beats of silence and then they just continue on.
Like, wait, what? Yeah.
Yeah. It does not compute.
I love it. Well, I'm down to the very end of this Perdomo 30th Connecticut here, and this has been really good. I think I liked I've now smoked all three, and I think I liked the sun grown and Maduro a little more. Connecticut, personally, it's not my favorite wrapper that I go to.
Yep.
This did have strength, as we determined on the strengthometer.
Yep.
It's a 5, and good flavor, very creamy flavor to it, which is reminiscent of other Perdomo Connecticut cigars, and I did enjoy it. So if you're a Connecticut smoker and you're looking for a really, really good Connecticut, the Perdomo 30th is definitely one to consider.
Yeah. For me, the sun grown in the 30th comes in number 1. Connecticut's number 2 for me, and the Maduro. But they're all pretty close. I mean, they're all great cigars.
For sure. That's fascinating to me that for you. So where do you rank the 10th anniversaries?
I'm probably going to smoke the Connecticut first.
Okay.
Then the Maduro.
And then the sun grown.
Yeah.
Interesting that there'd be such a difference in the sequence there.
Yeah.
But I mean,
listen,
I don't know.
I'm an anomaly. We can't predict what.
Well, I mean, you took the tour, so I mean, if anybody knows, it should be you at this point.
You got to get to that tour someday.
Oh, it'd be nice. That'd be fun. I imagine that would be a pretty. Was it? I imagine it's a fairly hardcore trip, though. Like
it's hardcore. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
drinking from the fire hose kind of thing.
Yeah, it's fun. It's not a party tour. It's an educational tour.
Well, no, and I think that's good. I don't, I've heard about other farm visits where it's like, everybody's drinking and being ridiculous the whole time, and it's like, you can do that in the States,
Yeah, that doesn't happen here. There's discipline.
Yeah,
discipline on that tour.
There you go.
You can enjoy a couple drinks at the end of the day, but you're going to be up early and going at it again.
Perfect. Well, Ed, thank you so much for taking time out today.
It was a genuine pleasure.
Well, thank you. It was my pleasure as well. Well, guys, this has been wait, before we go.
Yeah.
The Gold Star. Final thoughts on the Gold Star.
Final thoughts on the Gold Star. I would say I got to put it on the strengthometer, right?
Oh, yeah, I mean, I think so.
I don't have my copy at hand. I'm going to be in big trouble. But I'm going to put this as a 7 on the strengthometer, which would make sense as to why Dave thought it was too strong. He would probably put it at an 8, but I can't speak for him.
Well, he's not there to argue with you and, berate you to an 8. So, so you've got it under control. So we're going to say a 7. We're going to say a 7. All right. Well, guys, this has been another sermon from the Cigar Pulpit. I'm Nick.
And I'm Ed.
Everybody stay safe and stay smoky.